Well, right now I'm about to show you this guy. His name is Anthony, I believe. At least this is what he claims in his channel name. Anthony the American. So he's trying to compare a military propaganda video from Russian side and from American side. And that video came out more than 2 years ago, so it's obviously before war started. So now everybody knows, at least the ones who is interested in what is Russian army, and this is definitely not the place you want to be in. But that makes this review even funnier. It's just like his reaction is so ridiculous considering the fact he's American and he's not so into this Russian shit.
Russian military.
It's the first day of your new life there. What happened yesterday doesn't matter. No one cares who you were before.
Like, I already can say he's not understanding what's going on there, because when I see this bullshit they say on their propaganda video, I literally can't help but make fun of it. It's so ridiculous. It's the first day of your new life. Yeah, damn, like, maybe the last one, because you will go to fucking Bakhmut and will die there or something. In a day, in a week, eventually you will, because this is Russian army, that's how they do things. You need to know, majority of Russian soldiers in Russian army is a cannon fodder. We even have specific term for Russian attacks. We call them meat assaults. This is not a mistake, this is literally their tactic. This was through all the history, starting from Soviet Union, the way they performed the war.
If you become a soldier, it doesn't matter if you were a student or homeless, it doesn't matter. You're in the army now, that's the most important thing. That's what I figured out, I think.
And this part is literal truth. It doesn't matter who you were before, if you don't have money to pay to your officer so he can claim you got wounded and you got retired from the army, you are literally a dead man, no matter who you are. No matter who you were before, because of their tactic I just mentioned. And I'm not saying that trying to humiliate Russian army, I'm just saying that as a fact. This is the way how they perform the war. They just use cannon fodder. They have a lot of broke people from broke Russian regions, which greedy to those like 200,000 rubles per month salaries. By the way, they will trick you with that too, they will fool you. There is almost no chance you will get full amount of your salary. Usually Russian soldiers claim that 40,000 rubles per month or something.
Who will you be today? What do you know about yourself?
Yeah, they hired some bodybuilders just to show what Russian soldiers look like, which is hilarious, like, starting from the uppercase, hilarious. Oh my god, I'll just show you right now Russian soldiers, those broke people from broke regions. This is the Russian soldier. This one is too. Maybe you're wondering how did he go through body check? Well, he didn't. There is no body check in Russian army nowadays. They need all people they can get. Sometimes they force in people without legs or arms go to assault, literally, I'm not joking right now. It's again because of their tactics of cannon fodder. It doesn't matter do you have both legs and both arms, you just need to be there, you need to be a bullet shield. They use these first line soldiers just to recognize where are enemies, when enemies start to shoot. That was Wagner Group tactics. If you're not familiar with this name, Wagner Group, it was like kinda second army in Russia. Private one, doesn't exist anymore, but yeah, those people I'm just showing to, yeah, Russian soldiers, like, look at those guys they trying to show, and look at these guys. This is real Russian soldiers. I bet you don't want to be in their presence, right? I just forgot to mention the fact they all are felons, violent felons, murderers, rapes. Theft or rob is probably the easiest one.
Infliction of grievous bodily harm with lethal. The original one. Article 105 murder. Article 105 Part 2 murder. Murder.
Look at him. Would you ever think this guy committed murder? He did. And then we're wondering, why are there in Ukrainian women in Ukraine? Because look at those motherfuckers. The best they saw in their life is probably a cow or like sheep or something. But yeah, it will be harsh to them because those people killing my people, literally for money. And they even kill their own people because, as I mentioned before, they were violent felons even before they came to war. Like, it's a mess. Russian soldiers, it's a mess. I'm not saying every single Russian soldier is a felon right now, but a lot.
But will you be able to sleep peacefully afterwards? To get to know you, to know the limits of their capabilities, to hell with borders. You're ready to break you. I really like the uniform of Russian soldiers. When there are stripes, blue stripes, it's very cool.
Well, from American perspective maybe, but from Russian perspective, we consider those people as like rednecks. Like you would not talk to them on the streets, like no. Desperate, broke, dumb rednecks.
Every day. Here, pain hardens. Scars are every day. It's you who decided to prove something to yourself. The commander is here only so that you can see him as an enemy, because there is no enemy without him.
Wow.
Wow, that's so obvious. There is no win without a fight. Wow, only Russians could thought about that. Like, what kind of reaction is that? And by the way, about Russian commanders, they said like, commander is there only for you to see enemy in him. That's not just words. Again, before the war, nobody even thought about how truthful this video is, but Russian soldiers pretty often shoot their own commanders because they are literally an enemy. The same reason, Russian tactics. Commanders will be the reason why those soldiers will be dead like in 10 minutes, because commanders doesn't give a damn. They just say, go to insult. They use soldiers as a cannon fodder, and soldiers know it, commanders know it, but everybody pretends it's not like that. Obviously, soldiers hate their commanders, yeah.
The main enemy is you. Yesterday's you. Your task is to track down the enemy, catch up with him.
Wow, this is very poetic. The biggest enemy is you.
Well, you got in general like a lot of pathos, too pretentious, like we're watching Marvel movie, when in general, in reality, it's completely different picture. I didn't mention even the fact right now Russian military forces do not have enough supplies to their soldiers, so sometimes they go into a fight without equipment.
And now we're going to look at ads for my army, the American Army, and I can already see what it is. Cartoon.
This is the story of a soldier who operates your nation's Patriot missile
And the sound is very weak as a little girl.
defense systems.
Patriots. It's more than $1 billion shit, I believe, which I already explained in previous videos, can literally shoot down a missile in midair. Russian nuclear missile, yeah. That thing they trying to terrify all world with. So I would rather be a Patriot operator, right, than a Russian cannon fodder.
Two moms.
That is, she has two moms. Yes, this is a typical, very American advertisement. Oh my god.
You know what bothers me here? Not two moms, not two dads, or anything. I'm worried about not being a fucking cannon fodder. I would rather be an American soldier, which army first bombed the territory, clear it from the enemy, and then I'll go on an assault.
Although I had a fairly typical childhood, took ballet, played violin, I also marched for equality. I like to think I've been defending freedom from an early age.
Before he will say something, I can see by his facial expressions, he's disappointed by American army propaganda video. But what do I see as a Russian-speaking person who lived all his life in that former Soviet Union mess? I can see words like love each other. I can see words like respect everyone. There is no those words in Russian propaganda video. There is only something like you will be the coolest motherfucker in the jungle. Look at those big boys, you will be like them. You will be hairless bodybuilder model they hired from some agency for this video. No, you won't. You will be in Ukrainian dirt, partly. Not for respect to everyone, not for love to each other, for literally conquer new territories.
I am sure that our ancestors who had in Europe the Second World War, the First World War, they couldn't imagine what was happening in America right now.
Our grandparents who've been involved in the World War II, at least from the Soviet Union side, they always said anything but war. Love each other? Great. Okay, they are not so tolerant towards minorities, obviously, because there was Soviet Union. But I swear to God, they would rather accept that than another war.
When I was 6 years old, one of my moms had an accident that left her paralyzed. Doctor said she might never walk again. But she tapped.
Is it the army, or is it just a short story about her life? I don't understand when the army will be shown. How?
You know what? After 2 years, and it's literally 2 years right now, recently it turns 2 years of this war researchings, I'm tired of f***ing army. I'm tired of dead bodies strewn across the fields, burned alive, severed heads, severed limbs, dead children, dead pregnant women. I literally would rather see some life story from one American soldier in American propaganda video of their military forces.
What is this? It's a cartoon. This is a cartoon for children. This is not an army. And I hope they don't show these kids, because they don't show a normal family.
Yeah, that's kinda so American. Two moms, gay couple, not traditional family. Yeah, we all know that. In general, it doesn't matter so much. I'm looking more into depths of the sense. In Russian video, they pushed onto your feral instincts like anger, dominance, be the coolest motherfucker in the world, which is just so pathetic to me, especially if we're talking about Russian army. I would call that first movie is childish. This second one is a life story. It's more for adults. It doesn't matter, it's a cartoon, so what? Look at the sense.
And my family's pride to get back on her feet. Eventually standing at the altar to marry my other mom. With such powerful role models,
I don't understand what the fuck is wrong with this California guy. Like, you're living in California and he sees two moms getting married and he's like, no, damn, no. Is that a Republican in California? Jesus.
I finished high school at the top of my class, and then attended UC Davis, where I joined a sorority full of other strong women.
I don't feel anything. I don't feel motivated to do nothing because I'm a man and I'm watching a cartoon about a girl.
And this is a good thing, actually. Yeah, probably video does not do this its purpose, but it's over the best motivation for you to not feel motivation to be involved into any conflict with a weapon. If you feel motivation to go into a Russian army or even American army, there is something wrong with you. It's only my opinion, but there is tons of other options when you can help society better and more. And yeah, if you're talking about United States, it's obviously a better choice because you would not at least be able to do anything you want in some foreign countries with those women, with those children, with those people in general. But you will still be a murderer in some point of view. Don't fool yourself. If you will shoot the gun and this bullet go right through someone's head, it doesn't matter are you protecting or anything, you're a murderer. You took someone's life, even to protect your own or your family. So maybe it's not the best option, on my opinion, and maybe feeling less motivation to go and join some army, it's the best option here. Maybe.
She was talking about her life. Cool, okay, cool. But this does not give me the motivation to defend our country, as in Russian advertising.
Well, luckily for you, you don't have to. It's we're the ones who was forced to serve in the Russian army, or Ukrainian, or Belarusian one. Pick any former Soviet Union country. The law demands it from us. Like every single man, human being, supposed to serve 1 year. It's 1 year completely thrown out of your life, doing nothing, just wasting your goddamn time. In those conditions you live in, it's horrible. It's not American army, not even close. But nowadays, this law literally leads to death. If you've been recruited to Russian army, it's like close to 95% you're a dead man or you get wounded, and maybe you will be retired after it. Maybe. But luckily for you, Anthony, you have an option to choose, because you're born in one of the greatest countries in the world. Anyway, thanks for watching. Subscribe please on my channel and put your like on this video please. And have a good one.